5 brutal medieval weapons explained. Hell yeah. Wait, brutal?
Welcome back, everybody, to another Fast Facts video. Today we'll be taking a look at 5 absolutely brutal medieval weapons that were used by armies to strike fear into the hearts of their enemies. But what makes a weapon brutal? Its effectiveness in battle? Its appearance? Its fear factor? Let's investigate, shall we? Number 1. Murder holes. The defense of a medieval castle would certainly be a difficult task for any army stuck under siege
Is this? Okay.
for up to years.
Pog,
Defenders would be
Lithuania.
forced to fend off armies numerous times larger than their own forces, doing whatever they could to slow the enemy down. Fortunately, having a well-established defensive position can turn the tide of the battle in the defender's favor. Murder holes are, well, holes strategically positioned on the castle's key defensive positions such as outer walls, gates, and towers. When the unlucky enemy found themselves positioned beneath these murder holes, the defender would drop boiling oil, water, or burning hot sand that's not very good for Vader, which would incapacitate anyone beneath, severely maiming or mutilating them.
Maiming.
Number 2. Caltrops. These were iron star-shaped spikes that would be thrown in front of enemy lines, or in defensive positions to limit the effectiveness of enemy attacks. Although these contraptions may not look particularly scary, one wrong step would land the enemy in a world of pain. These weapons were used to great effect against cavalry charges, where unsuspecting generals would lead their troops in a fast-moving charge against infantry, only to be stopped dead in their tracks as horses would trip over and fall from the caltrops, impaling them and their riders on the way down. Number 3. Greek fire. This legendary weapon turned the entire tide of conflicts in the favor of the Eastern Roman Empire, otherwise known as the Byzantine Empire. The fate of the empire was looking dire, as invading Arab forces had taken over almost half the empire and placed the capital of Constantinople under siege. With a massive armada at their disposal, the Arab forces headed to face the Byzantine fleet, not realizing the enemy had developed a medieval superweapon. The recipe of Greek fire remains unknown today, as it was so closely guarded in fear that the enemy would discover it that it was eventually lost. Historians believe that it was somewhat similar to napalm due to the accounts that water did not extinguish the flames, and that the fire burned and spread uncontrollably.
How can you not research medieval technology? What?
The Arab fleet was
Bruh.
obliterated, with sailors being scorched to a crisp, allowing the Byzantines to turn the tide of war and securing victory. Number 4. The war elephant. These gigantic beasts may seem like gentle giants to some. However, when trained
Persian
and
Empire.
angry, the elephants would become terrifying killing machines, trampling soldiers and
Or
stomping enemy
Indian
cavalry
Empire.
dead in their tracks. Although in the time of the Roman Empire, elephants made multiple appearances in the West, they were mainly used in the Middle East and the rest of Asia throughout the medieval period. Trained to disarm enemy spearmen, knock over cavalry, and stomp on the infantry, virtually nothing could bring them down on the battlefield. However, war
Cap.
elephants were often
No
more
shot.
dangerous to their handlers than the enemy itself. During the siege of Edessa in 6th century, the Byzantines dangled a single pig from the city walls using rope when faced by a Persian elephant. When confronted by the loud squealing of the pig, the elephant quickly became frightened, turned around, and trampled over friendly lines, saving the city.
Okay,
Nevertheless, these unstoppable war elephants were a brutal weapon on the battlefield. Number 5. The trebuchet. Catapults, ballista, and other siege weapons became a more frequent sight on the battlefield throughout the age of the Roman Empire. However, siege weaponry was significantly developed upon in the medieval era. The trebuchet was an enormous siege weapon, with a single arm and
Trebuchet,
counterweight that
Pog.
would hurl boulders hundreds of meters, sending them crashing into the enemy lines, or fortifications. The largest trebuchet constructed is believed to be the Warwolf, which King Edward used to
England.
intimidate the Scots into surrendering at Stirling. A single shot from the weapon was said to have brought down
But didn't they like surrender and he still tried to like launch it? No?
the gatehouse of the castle. When the weapon was still being constructed, the Scots attempted to surrender at the mere sight of it, which spelled doom for Stirling Castle. Hope you enjoyed this Fast Facts video.
No,
Please leave a
didn't
like
say.
and subscribe here if you aren't already. I will see you in the next episode.
Startling.
At the mere sight of
Look
it,
at
which
that thing.
spelled doom
Holy moly.
for Stirling
Oh, that's
Castle.
insane. So big, man.
Hope you enjoyed this.
Anything else, please? I won't watch. Top 10 facts about penguins. 3 minutes. Sure. 5 inventions that will change our future. When under fuel can cause runoff. Really? Let's watch this one. Loud boy.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Fast Facts. Penguins.
Ouch.
They're cute
Never mind.
black and white birds that waddle everywhere they go, and sadly they can't fly. But what else do you know about them? Well, in today's video we explore 10 interesting facts about penguins. Number 1. It depends on which scientist you ask, but there are anywhere between 17 to 20 different species of penguins. They all live in the southern hemisphere except for the Galapagos penguins, which is the only penguin species found north of the equator. Number 2. Scientists discovered a mega penguin in 2014. It's believed to be 37 million years old. The penguin was about 6.5 feet tall and weighed more than 250 pounds.
How
For
long?
perspective, the largest species of penguin, which is the emperor, only weighed anywhere from 49 to 99 pounds. Number 3. In the species of emperor penguins, the males incubate the eggs while the females hunt. The female will typically stay on a 2-month hunting trip while the male protects the newly laid eggs. Now, what's truly fascinating is male penguins will not eat until the female returns. When she does return, she regurgitates the food into the baby chick's mouth. Number 4. As we stated previously, penguins sadly can't fly, but they happen to be great swimmers. In fact, the Gen 2 penguins earned the title of the fastest. In the water, they can reach up to speeds of 25 miles per hour. Number 5. Most birds gradually molt, which means they start to lose their old feathers, basically shedding for birds. However, for penguins, the experience is a bit different. For the flightless birds, they lose their feathers all at once rather than gradually. This is called catastrophic molt. Number 6. Did you know a penguin's poop is bright pink? This is because they consume a lot of krill. Penguin poop is so plentiful and bright that it can be seen all the way from space. Number 7. Penguins are monogamous creatures. The majority of penguin species will mate exclusively with each other for the duration of mating season. And did you know it is the female birds who try to compete for their male's attention? Number 8. Now this may come as a surprise, but penguins don't wear tuxedos because they're trying to make a fashion statement. In fact, their coloring helps them camouflage while swimming. From the sky, their black backs blend with the dark ocean water, but from below the water, their white bellies match the bright surface light. This helps them to avoid predators. Number 9. Penguins can drink salt water. See, considering where most penguins live, they only have access to ice and salt water, so they have a special adaptation that allows them to filter out salt. This special gland is called the supraorbital gland, which is located near their eyes. Number 10. The emperor penguin's diving skills are quite impressive. They can dive below the sea ice for up to 20 minutes at a time. They have developed an ability to control how and when their muscles use oxygen. The deepest dive on record by an emperor penguin was 565 meters or 1,853 feet. Well, that concludes this episode of Fast Facts about penguins. We hope you learned something new, and we'll catch you in the next one.
That's insane, dude. Holy smokes.